Hey everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back. Today we're not just scratching the surface, we're digging deep into the true foundation of minimalist wealth, a life where money is a tool for freedom, not a source of anxiety. Before we get into the 13 specific rules, let's really unpack what it means to build wealth the minimalist way, and how you can set yourself up for lasting financial peace. Minimalist wealth isn't just about owning fewer things, it's about gaining more clarity, more freedom, and more intention in every financial decision you make. It's about designing a life where your money supports your values, not the other way around. The very first and most crucial step to minimalist wealth is gaining absolute clarity about your financial life. This means taking a step back from the noise and really understanding where you are, where you want to go, and why. Set aside some time, maybe right now, or after this video, to sit in a calm, uncluttered space and write down your financial goals. Don't rush this process. Give yourself permission to dream, but also to be honest about your current situation. Your goals can be as simple as building a $1,000 emergency fund, or as ambitious as reaching financial independence and retiring early. Maybe you want to pay off your credit card debt, save for a dream trip, buy a home, or simply stop living paycheck to paycheck. The key is to focus on what truly matters to you, not what society, your friends, or social media say you should want. For example, if you value travel and experiences over material possessions, make that a priority in your financial plan. If you want to feel secure, focus on building a strong emergency fund and paying off debt. When you write your goals down, you're not just making a list, you're setting your intentions and giving your money a purpose. Be as specific as possible. If your goal is to pay off debt, write down the exact amount you owe, the interest rates, and a realistic timeline for becoming debt-free. If you want to save for a vacation, research the costs, set a target amount, and break it down into monthly savings goals. The more detailed you are, the easier it is to track your progress and stay motivated. Here's a practical tip. Break big goals into smaller, manageable milestones. For example, if you want to save $10,000, start by aiming for your first $500, then $1,000, and so on. Celebrate each milestone to keep your momentum going. Let's make this even more actionable. Take a blank sheet of paper or open a new note on your phone. Write down 3 financial goals you want to achieve in the next year. Next to each goal, jot down why it matters to you. For example, I want to save $2,000 for an emergency fund so I can feel secure if something unexpected happens. This why is your motivation. It's what will keep you going when things get tough. Now let's talk about the importance of reviewing your goals regularly. Set a reminder to check in with your goals every month. Ask yourself, am I making progress? Do my goals still align with my values? What small step can I take this week to move closer to one of my goals? This ongoing reflection is a core part of minimalist wealth. It keeps you intentional and prevents you from drifting into old habits. Another powerful exercise is to visualize your ideal financial life. Close your eyes and picture yourself living in a space that feels calm and uncluttered, with your bills paid, no debt hanging over your head, and money set aside for the things that matter most to you. Imagine the freedom of saying yes to opportunities that excite you, and no to things that don't align with your values. This vision isn't just a daydream, it's a compass that can guide your decisions and keep you focused when temptations arise. Now let's talk about intentional spending. Minimalist wealth isn't about tracking every penny out of fear or guilt. It's about understanding where your money goes so you can make conscious, empowered choices. Start by tracking your spending for at least 1 month. You can use a simple notebook, a spreadsheet, or a budgeting app, whatever feels easiest and most sustainable for you. Write down every expense, no matter how small. This includes your morning coffee, online subscriptions, groceries, and even those little impulse buys. At the end of the month, review your spending with curiosity, not judgment. Ask yourself, which purchases brought you real value or joy, and which ones were just habits or impulses? For example, maybe you notice you're spending $50 a month on coffee shop drinks, but you only truly enjoy the ones you have with friends, or perhaps you realize you're paying for streaming services or gym memberships you never use. This awareness is powerful. It helps you identify areas where you can cut back without feeling deprived, and it frees up money for the things that truly matter to you. Here's a deeper exercise. For each expense, rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 for how much happiness or value it brought you. You might be surprised at how many automatic purchases score low, while experiences or investments in yourself score high. Use this insight to guide your future spending. Try categorizing your expenses into needs, wants, and nice-to-haves. Needs are essentials like rent, groceries, utilities, and insurance. Wants are things that add value or joy like a gym membership, a dinner out with friends, or a hobby you love. Nice-to-haves are the extras that don't really move the needle for your happiness. Maybe that extra streaming service, or the latest gadget you barely use. By making these distinctions, you can start to align your spending with your values and priorities. Here's an actionable tip. After categorizing, challenge yourself to cut one nice-to-have expense for a month and redirect that money toward a goal that excites you. Notice how it feels. Do you actually miss it, or do you feel lighter and more in control? Let's look at a practical example. Suppose you realize you're spending $30 a month on a subscription box you barely use. Cancel it and set up an automatic transfer of $30 each month into a savings account labeled Dream Trip or Emergency Fund. Over a year, that's $360, enough to make a real difference. Another example, if you love reading but find yourself buying new books every month, try using your local library or swapping books with friends. You'll save money, reduce clutter, and still enjoy your favorite hobby. Minimalist wealth is not about living with less for the sake of it. It's about living with intention and purpose. When you align your spending with your values, you reduce financial stress and create space for more freedom, creativity, and peace in your life. Imagine waking up in a calm, uncluttered home, knowing your money is working for you, not against you. This is the real reward of minimalist wealth, a life that feels lighter, more meaningful, and more under your control. Here's another actionable tip. Set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts as soon as you get paid. This is called paying yourself first. Even if it's just $10 or $20 a week, automating your savings ensures you're prioritizing your goals before you even have a chance to spend on things that don't matter. Over time, these small amounts add up, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you can build momentum. If you're new to investing, start small. Research low-cost index funds or robo-advisors, and commit to investing a set amount each month. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. If you're unsure where to begin, many online platforms offer educational resources and even simulated portfolios, so you can practice before investing real money. Another foundational step is to simplify your financial accounts. If you have multiple checking or savings accounts, credit cards, or investment platforms, consider consolidating them. Fewer accounts mean less to track, fewer fees, and less mental clutter. Choose one main checking account, one high-yield savings account, and one investment platform to start. Finally, remember that minimalist wealth is a journey, not a destination. There will be setbacks and unexpected expenses along the way. The key is to stay flexible, keep learning, and adjust your goals as your life evolves. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. That's the foundation we're building today: clarity, intention, and action. So, are you ready to take control, simplify your finances, and start living a life that feels lighter and more meaningful? Grab your notebook, set your goals, and let's dive in together to explore the 13 minimalist rules to always have money. Your journey to financial freedom starts right now. Rule 1. If something requires you to go into debt, especially for things that lose value over time, pause and think twice. Avoiding debt isn't just about being frugal or cautious, it's about protecting your future, your freedom, and your peace of mind. Debt is often marketed as a shortcut to the life you want, but in reality, it's a trade-off, one that can cost you far more than you realize. Every time you borrow money, you're not just borrowing dollars, you're borrowing time, energy, and future opportunities. The true cost of debt is rarely visible up front. It's not just the interest rate or the monthly payment. It's the stress of owing, the anxiety of bills piling up, and the limitations it places on your choices. Debt can quietly erode your sense of security, making you feel trapped and powerless. Let's look at a real-life scenario. Imagine you buy a $1,000 television on your credit card, planning to pay it off over time. If you only make the minimum payment each month, you could end up paying hundreds of dollars in interest, and it might take years to pay off that single purchase. By the time you're done, the TV is outdated, but you're still paying for it. This is how debt quietly steals your future income and limits your options. Now, multiply this by several purchases: furniture, electronics, vacations, and suddenly, a significant portion of your monthly income is tied up in paying for things you no longer use or even remember buying. This cycle can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and a feeling of being trapped. Why is avoiding debt so crucial? Because debt is a claim on your future. Every dollar you owe is a dollar you can't use for something else. Saving for emergencies, investing for your future, or even just enjoying life. Debt limits your freedom to make choices, whether it's changing jobs, moving to a new city, or starting a business. It can even affect your relationships, as financial stress is one of the leading causes of conflict among couples and families. Debt can be a powerful tool when used wisely. For example, taking out a loan for a home or investing in your education can open doors and create opportunities that pay off in the long run. These are investments that can increase in value or help you earn more over time. But using debt for things like cars, clothes, or the latest gadgets is a different story. These items lose value quickly, and you end up paying interest on something that's already worth less than what you paid. Instead of moving forward, you're stuck paying for your past choices, making it harder to build real wealth. It's important to distinguish between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is an investment in your future, something that will either appreciate in value or help you generate more income. Bad debt, on the other hand, is money borrowed for things that depreciate or don't contribute to your long-term well-being. The more you rely on bad debt, the more you sacrifice your future financial freedom for short-term pleasure. Let's go deeper into this distinction. Good debt includes things like student loans for a degree that leads to a well-paying job, or a mortgage on a home that will likely appreciate in value. Even then, it's crucial to borrow only what you need and to have a clear plan for repayment. Bad debt, by contrast, is often used for consumer goods, clothes, electronics, vacations, or even dining out. These purchases provide fleeting satisfaction but leave you with long-term obligations. Ask yourself, will this debt help me build a better future, or will it just make my present more comfortable at the expense of my future self? Consider the story of two friends. One uses a student loan to pay for a degree in a high-demand field, landing a job that pays well and allows them to pay off the loan quickly. The other racks up credit card debt on vacations and shopping sprees, struggling for years to pay it off. The difference isn't just in the numbers, it's in the opportunities and peace of mind each person has. The first friend's debt was a stepping stone. The second's became a stumbling block. Here's another scenario. Imagine you're offered a buy now, pay later deal on a new phone. It sounds tempting, but if you lose your job or face an emergency, those payments don't stop. Suddenly what seemed like a small commitment becomes a burden, forcing you to cut back on essentials or dip into savings. This is how debt can turn a minor setback into a major crisis. Whenever possible, make it a habit to buy with cash. Paying with cash forces you to consider your purchases more carefully, and it keeps you grounded in reality. When you use cash, you're spending money you actually have, not money you hope to have in the future. This simple habit can help you avoid impulse buys and keep your finances healthy. There's a psychological effect to handing over physical money. It makes you more aware of what you're giving up. Swiping a card or clicking buy now online can feel almost effortless, but cash spending is tangible. It's a constant reminder to live within your means and prioritize what truly matters. Here's a practical tip. Try the envelope method. Set aside cash in envelopes for different spending categories: groceries, entertainment, transportation. When the envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. This method makes your budget visible and helps you avoid overspending. If you want to take it further, track your spending in a notebook or an app and review it weekly. This awareness alone can help you spot patterns and make better decisions. Another actionable strategy is to set a cooling-off period for any purchase over a certain amount, say $50 or $100. Wait at least 24 hours before buying. This pause gives you time to reflect on whether you truly need the item or if it's just an impulse. If you can't afford something right now, it's a sign that you probably don't need it. It's easy to convince yourself that you deserve a treat or that you'll pay it off later, but these small decisions add up. Walking away from a purchase you can't afford is a sign of strength, not deprivation. It means you're prioritizing your future over short-term satisfaction. Every time you resist the urge to buy on credit, you're building discipline and self-respect. You're telling yourself that your long-term goals are more important than a fleeting desire. Over time, these choices compound, leading to greater financial stability and peace of mind. Think about the 30-day rule. If you want to buy something non-essential, wait 30 days before making the purchase. Often the urge will pass and you'll realize you didn't need it after all. This simple delay can save you from unnecessary debt and clutter. If you still want the item after 30 days, you'll know it's a considered decision, not an impulse. Another helpful tactic is to create a wish list for non-essential purchases. Write down what you want, the price, and the date you first wanted it. Review the list regularly. You'll be surprised how many things lose their appeal over time. Building this habit of mindful spending leads to long-term peace of mind. When you're not weighed down by debt, you have more freedom and less stress. You can focus on what truly matters to you, whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, or simply enjoying a quiet moment at home. Financial freedom isn't about having the most stuff, it's about having control over your life and your choices. Imagine waking up each day knowing you don't owe anyone, that your paycheck is yours to save, invest, or spend as you see fit. That's the real reward of living debt-free. Another practical tip: automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer to your savings account every payday, even if it's a small amount. This helps you build a cushion and reduces the temptation to rely on credit when unexpected expenses arise. Over time, these small, consistent savings add up and can be used for emergencies, opportunities, or even guilt-free splurges, without debt. Consider also building an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This buffer protects you from having to rely on credit cards or loans when life throws you a curveball, like a job loss or medical bill. The next time you're tempted to finance something flashy or sign up for a payment plan, take a step back and remember, debt should be a tool that works for you, not a trap that works against you. Ask yourself if this purchase will help you grow, or if it will just add another monthly payment to your list of obligations. Being intentional with your money is the key to building a secure future. Before you commit to any debt, consider the true cost, not just the sticker price, but the interest, the stress, and the opportunity cost of what you could have done with that money instead. Is it worth sacrificing your future for a moment of convenience or status? Here's a real-world example. Many people finance new cars with long-term loans, thinking the monthly payment is manageable, but cars lose value quickly and you could end up owing more than the car is worth. Instead, consider buying a reliable used car with cash, or saving up for a larger down payment to reduce your loan amount and interest. Research the total cost of ownership, including insurance, maintenance, and taxes before making any decision. Another example, buy now, pay later offers are everywhere online. They seem harmless, but they can quickly add up and lead to a cycle of debt. Before accepting any such offer, ask yourself if you'd still want the item if you had to pay the full price up front. Only borrow for investments that truly pay you back, like a home that builds equity or an education that increases your earning potential. These are the kinds of debts that can help you move forward in life, not hold you back. Make sure every dollar you borrow is working to improve your future, not just satisfy a fleeting desire. When you do take on debt, have a clear plan for paying it off as quickly as possible. Avoid minimum payments and aim to eliminate your balance before interest can pile up. Treat debt as a temporary tool, not a permanent lifestyle. If you're considering student loans, research scholarships, grants, and work-study options first, borrow only what you absolutely need and have a plan for how you'll pay it back after graduation. The less you borrow, the more freedom you'll have later. Talk to recent graduates in your field to understand realistic starting salaries and repayment timelines. For mortgages, shop around for the best rates and don't borrow more than you can comfortably afford. Consider a 15-year mortgage instead of a 30-year one if possible. It can save you tens of thousands in interest. For everything else, avoid debt whenever you can. Choose simplicity, patience, and financial freedom over the stress of owing money. Your future self will thank you for every smart decision you make today. Remember, every time you say no to unnecessary debt, you're saying yes to a life of greater freedom, security, and peace. That's the true power of thinking twice before borrowing. In summary, before you take on any debt, ask yourself, is this purchase essential? Will it help me grow or just add stress? Can I wait and save instead? What are the long-term consequences? By pausing and thinking twice, you protect your... Rule 2. This one is absolutely crucial for your financial well-being. Protect your emergency fund like it's gold, because in many ways, it truly is. But what exactly is an emergency fund, and why is it so important? Let's take a deep dive into what makes this financial tool so powerful, how it works, and how you can build and maintain one step by step. An emergency fund is a dedicated pool of money set aside specifically to cover unexpected expenses. Think medical emergencies, urgent car repairs, sudden job loss, or essential home repairs. It's not just a jar of cash or a number in your bank account, it's your peace of mind, your backup plan, and your ticket to staying afloat when things get tough. The purpose of an emergency fund is to act as a financial shield, standing between you and life's unpredictable storms. It prevents you from falling into debt, selling off assets, or making desperate financial decisions when the unexpected happens. Emergencies can strike at any time: medical bills, car repairs, sudden job loss, or even an unexpected home repair. These are the moments when your emergency fund becomes your lifeline, helping you avoid debt and stress when life throws you a curveball. But let's go deeper. An emergency fund isn't just about having money set aside, it's about building a buffer that gives you the confidence to face uncertainty head-on. When you know you have a financial cushion, you can make better decisions, avoid panic, and focus on solutions instead of scrambling for cash or relying on credit cards. For example, imagine your car breaks down and the repair bill is $1,200. If you have an emergency fund, you can pay for the repair immediately. No need to put it on a high-interest credit card or borrow from friends. That's real peace of mind. Or consider a sudden medical expense. A trip to the emergency room could cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. With an emergency fund, you can cover the deductible or copay without derailing your monthly budget. Even something as simple as a broken appliance or a leaky roof can become a manageable inconvenience instead of a financial disaster. So, how much should you have in your emergency fund? Financial experts generally recommend saving between 3 and 6 months' worth of living expenses. This range gives you enough breathing room to handle most emergencies without derailing your long-term goals. To figure out your target, start by calculating your essential monthly expenses: rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, transportation, and any other non-negotiable bills. Multiply that total by 3, then by 6. That's your emergency fund goal. For example, if your monthly essentials add up to $2,000, your emergency fund goal should be between $6,000 and $12,000. If that number feels overwhelming, don't worry. The key is to start small and build consistently. Even a few $100s can make a difference in a pinch. Set micro goals. Aim for your first $500, then $1,000, and celebrate each milestone. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, try setting aside just $10 or $20 a week. Over time, these small amounts add up. Consider using windfalls, like tax refunds, bonuses, or cash gifts, to give your emergency fund a boost. If you receive irregular income, such as from freelancing or gig work, set aside a percentage of each payment, no matter how small. Now, let's talk about where to keep your emergency fund. The best place is a separate high-yield savings account that's easy to access in an emergency, but not so easy that you're tempted to dip into it for everyday expenses or impulse buys. Set up automatic transfers to grow your fund steadily, and keep it separate from your regular checking account to avoid temptation. Consider using a high-yield savings account that's not directly linked to your debit card. This way, you earn a bit of interest while keeping your emergency fund out of sight and out of mind until you truly need it. Some people even open their emergency fund at a different bank to add an extra layer of separation. If you're worried about accidentally spending it, rename the account something like "Do Not Touch Emergency Only" in your banking app. You can also set up account alerts to notify you of any withdrawals, so you're always aware if money leaves your emergency fund. For added security, consider requiring two-step authentication for transfers out of your emergency fund account. Remember, this fund is not for vacations, new gadgets, or things you simply forgot to budget for. It's strictly for true emergencies, those moments when you genuinely need a financial cushion to fall back on. It can be tempting to dip into your emergency fund for a last-minute trip, a new phone, or a sale you just can't resist. But every time you do, you're weakening your safety net. Set clear rules for yourself. Only use this money for real emergencies, like medical crises, urgent home repairs, or sudden loss of income. If you're unsure whether something qualifies, ask yourself, will this expense threaten my basic needs or financial stability if I don't cover it right now? If the answer is no, leave your emergency fund untouched. You can even write your own emergency fund rules and keep them visible, like a sticky note on your savings jar or a note in your banking app. Some people create a checklist of what counts as an emergency, such as job loss, medical emergencies, or essential home repairs, and review it before making any withdrawal. If you share finances with a partner or family, agree on these rules together and hold each other accountable. Treat your emergency fund as your personal insurance policy. It's there to protect you, your family, and your future from the unexpected. Guard it carefully, and don't let anything short of a real emergency convince you to break the seal. Think of it as a silent partner in your financial journey. Always there, always ready, but only to be called upon when absolutely necessary. If you ever need to use your emergency fund, make it a priority to replenish it as soon as possible. Life is unpredictable, and having that safety net restored quickly will help you sleep better at night. For example, if you use $800 for an emergency car repair, set up a plan to rebuild that amount over the next few months, maybe by cutting back on non-essentials or picking up a side gig temporarily. You might also consider temporarily increasing your automatic transfers or redirecting any extra income toward rebuilding your fund. Track your progress and celebrate each step as you restore your safety net. Let's break down the step-by-step process for building and maintaining your emergency fund. Your future self will thank you for your discipline and foresight. By protecting your emergency fund, you're investing in your own peace of mind and financial freedom. Remember, financial emergencies are not a matter of if, but when. The more prepared you are, the less stressful those moments will be. So, guard your emergency fund fiercely, nurture it consistently, and let it be the foundation of your minimalist approach to money. And remember, the best time to prepare for a storm is before the clouds appear. Start today, and your future self will be grateful you did. If you ever doubt the value of your emergency fund, look back at the times it saved you from stress, debt, or tough choices. Let those memories reinforce your commitment to keeping your safety net strong. The journey to financial security is ongoing, but every step you take to protect your emergency fund brings you closer to true peace of mind. The golden rule for financial security is simple, yet powerful. Live on less than you make. This principle is the foundation of lasting wealth, and it's the first step toward true financial freedom. But what does it really mean to live below your means? It's about making conscious, daily decisions that keep your spending in check and your savings growing. Living on less than you make isn't just about cutting back, it's about building a lifestyle that supports your long-term goals, reduces stress, and gives you more control over your future. Living below your means means making intentional choices every day, choosing to spend less than you earn, resisting the urge to upgrade your lifestyle with every pay raise, and focusing on what truly adds value to your life. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about clarity. By cutting out the excess, you create space for what matters most, and you make it easier to say no to unnecessary spending. The benefits of living below your means go far beyond just having extra money in your bank account. First, it gives you peace of mind. When you know you have a financial cushion, unexpected expenses like car repairs or medical bills don't feel like emergencies. Second, it reduces stress. You're not constantly worried about making ends meet or paying off debt. Third, it gives you freedom to pursue opportunities, take risks, or even change careers without the pressure of living paycheck to paycheck. And finally, it allows you to build wealth over time so you can achieve your dreams, whether that's traveling, starting a business, or retiring early. For example, instead of dining out multiple times a week, try cooking simple meals at home. Batch cook meals for the week to save both time and money, and use leftovers creatively. Swap expensive entertainment for free or low-cost activities, like hiking, reading, or spending time with loved ones. Explore your local community for free events, or host a game night at home instead of going out. When shopping, make a list and stick to it. Avoid impulse purchases by waiting 24 hours before buying anything non-essential. Budgeting is your roadmap. It's not about restricting yourself or feeling guilty for every purchase. Instead, it's about making conscious decisions, knowing where your money goes, and ensuring it aligns with your priorities. Start by tracking every expense for a month. Use a notebook, spreadsheet, or budgeting app. whatever works for you. Categorize your spending: essentials like rent, groceries and utilities, and non-essentials like dining out, subscriptions, or impulse buys. Try the envelope system for cash, or set up digital categories. Set clear limits for each category, and review your progress weekly. If you overspend in one area, adjust your budget for the next month. Don't give up. Involve your family or partner in the process, so everyone is on the same page and motivated to reach shared goals. Use budgeting apps to set alerts when you're close to your limits, and celebrate small wins, like staying under budget or reaching a savings milestone. Here are some practical budgeting tips. Set a realistic budget that reflects your actual income and expenses. Prioritize saving by treating it like a non-negotiable bill. Pay yourself first. Review your subscriptions and recurring expenses regularly and cancel anything you don't use. Use cash for discretionary spending to make it easier to stick to your limits. Plan your meals and grocery shop with a list to avoid overspending. Set specific, measurable goals, like saving $100 a month or paying off a credit card by the end of the year. Living on less than you make creates a surplus, a gap between your income and your expenses. This surplus is your ticket to financial growth. Automate your savings by setting up automatic transfers to a separate account as soon as you get paid. Even small regular amounts add up over time. Build an emergency fund to cover at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This fund acts as a buffer against unexpected events like job loss, medical bills, or urgent repairs. Once you have a safety net, start investing for your future, whether it's retirement, a home, or a dream project. Research different investment options such as index funds, retirement accounts, or real estate, and choose what aligns with your risk tolerance and goals. Reinvest any windfalls like tax refunds or bonuses instead of spending them. Over time, these small surpluses compound, building a safety net and opening doors to new opportunities. Another benefit of living below your means is the ability to weather financial storms. If you lose your job or face an unexpected expense, you'll have the resources to handle it without going into debt. This financial resilience gives you confidence and reduces anxiety about the future. As your income grows, it's tempting to let your spending rise with it, a phenomenon known as lifestyle creep. But true wealth comes from maintaining your simple lifestyle even as you earn more. Before making any purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it add lasting value to my life? Delay big purchases for at least 24 hours, or even 30 days, to give yourself time to reflect. Keep a wish list for non-essential items and review it monthly to see if you still want them. Use price comparison tools and hunt for discounts. But remember, sometimes the best savings come from not buying at all. Shop secondhand for clothing, furniture, and electronics, and use cashback or rewards programs for essential purchases. If you receive a raise or bonus, increase your savings rate instead of your spending. Mindful spending is about aligning your purchases with your values. Ask yourself what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment. Often, it's not things, but experiences, relationships, and peace of mind. By spending less on things that don't matter, you free up resources for what does. Track your spending diligently. Prioritize what you truly value, whether it's experiences, relationships, or future security, and let go of the rest. Review your bills regularly and look for ways to cut costs, like switching to a cheaper phone plan, negotiating lower rates on recurring bills, or canceling unused subscriptions. Embrace DIY repairs, secondhand shopping, and creative solutions like borrowing or sharing with friends. Use public transportation, bike, or walk when possible to save on transportation costs. Make homemade gifts or meals for special occasions instead of buying expensive items. The less you need, the more freedom you gain. Minimalism isn't just about having less, it's about living more intentionally with less stress and more peace of mind. That's the minimalist advantage. More choices, more security, and a life that's rich in what matters most. Remember, every dollar you don't spend is a dollar you can use to build your future. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your financial freedom grow. Over time, these habits become second nature, and you'll find that living on less than you make isn't a sacrifice. It's a path to a richer, more meaningful life. In summary, living below your means is the cornerstone of financial well-being. It empowers you to save, invest, and enjoy life without the burden of debt or financial stress. By budgeting wisely, spending mindfully, and focusing on what truly matters, you'll build a strong foundation for lasting wealth and happiness. Start today. Your future self will thank you. For most people, housing is the single largest expense in their budget, often accounting for 30% or more of monthly income. That's why keeping your housing modest is one of the most powerful and reliable ways to ensure you always have money left over at the end of the month. The less you spend on rent or a mortgage, the more you can save, invest, or use for experiences that truly enrich your life. But what does modest really mean? It's not just about living in the smallest or cheapest place possible. It's about finding a home that meets your needs without stretching your finances thin. Let's explore the many advantages of modest housing, cost-saving strategies, and the long-term financial impacts that can transform your future. When choosing a place to live, focus on what you genuinely need, not what looks impressive online or matches someone else's expectations. Start by making a list of your true requirements. How many bedrooms do you actually use? Do you need a separate dining room, or could a kitchen table suffice? For example, Sarah, a young professional, realized she was only using half the space in her two-bedroom apartment. By moving to a studio, she cut her rent by 40% and used the savings to pay off debt and travel. Similarly, the Patel family chose a smaller home closer to work and school, saving on both housing and transportation costs. Ask yourself, how much space do I really use? Do I need that extra bedroom, or am I just filling it with stuff I rarely touch? Prioritize function and comfort over size and flash. Consider location as well. Sometimes a modest home in a walkable neighborhood can save you money on commuting and improve your quality of life. The advantages of modest housing go far beyond the monthly rent or mortgage payment. Smaller homes typically mean lower utility bills, reduced property taxes, and less money spent on maintenance and repairs. You'll also spend less on furnishing and decorating, since you simply don't have the space for excess. Avoid the temptation to overspend on extra square footage or the latest design trends. Remember, furniture and decor are not investments. They rarely hold their value and often just add clutter. Instead, choose quality basics that serve your needs and create a peaceful, uncluttered environment. For instance, the Lee family opted for a smaller home with a multi-purpose living area. By using foldable furniture and smart storage, they made the most of every square foot and saved thousands each year. Actionable tip: before buying new furniture, ask yourself if it serves more than one purpose, and measure your space to avoid overcrowding. Embrace minimalism by keeping only what you use and love. Donate or sell the rest. This not only saves money but also makes your home easier to maintain. A modest home is easier to clean, maintain, and repair. With less space and fewer possessions, you spend less time on chores and less money on upkeep. This means fewer headaches and more freedom to focus on what truly matters to you. Consider the case of Mark, who downsized from a large house to a small condo. He cut his utility bills in half and now spends weekends hiking instead of mowing the lawn. Actionable advice: create a simple maintenance schedule for your home. Smaller spaces mean shorter to-do lists and lower repair costs. If you rent, look for properties where maintenance is included, further reducing your responsibilities and expenses. By keeping your housing costs low, you free up both money and time. This gives you the flexibility to pursue your goals, spend quality time with loved ones, and invest in experiences that bring lasting happiness. Practical tip: consider house hacking, renting out a spare room, or sharing your space with roommates to offset costs. Many people have built wealth by living simply and renting out part of their home. If you own your home, short-term rentals or taking on a long-term tenant can help cover your mortgage. If you rent, look for opportunities to split costs with trustworthy roommates or consider co-living arrangements. Use budgeting tools to track your housing expenses and set up automatic transfers to savings or investment accounts with the money you save each month. Don't fall into the trap of trying to keep up with the Joneses. Just because others are upgrading to bigger homes or fancier apartments doesn't mean you need to follow. True financial security comes from living within your means, not from impressing others. Remember, many people who appear wealthy are actually struggling with high mortgages and debt. Actionable advice: unfollow social media accounts that trigger comparison or envy, and remind yourself regularly of your own financial goals. Practice gratitude for what you have and celebrate your progress toward financial independence. In the end, a simple, functional, and comfortable home is all you really need. By keeping your housing modest, you create space in your life, physically, mentally, and financially, for the things that matter most. Take time to reflect on your true needs, and don't be afraid to make bold choices that support your financial freedom. Actionable step: set a target percentage of your income for housing, ideally no more than 25 to 30%, and stick to it, even if it means making unconventional choices. Remember, every dollar you save on housing is a dollar you can use to build the life you truly want. The long-term financial impacts of modest housing are profound. By consistently spending less on housing, you can redirect those savings into investments, retirement accounts, or paying off debt faster. Over time, this can mean reaching financial independence years earlier than your peers, enjoying a stress-free retirement, or having the freedom to pursue your passions without financial worry. Modest housing isn't just about saving money today, it's about building a secure, abundant future for yourself and your loved ones. That's the real secret to always having money. Let's talk about one of the most important minimalist money rules, avoiding lifestyle debt. But what exactly is lifestyle debt? Simply put, lifestyle debt is any debt you take on to pay for non-essential, often short-lived pleasures. Think vacations, shopping sprees, luxury gadgets, or even extravagant celebrations like weddings or milestone birthdays. Unlike debt for investments, such as a mortgage or student loans, lifestyle debt doesn't build your future. Instead, it's borrowing money to fund the present, often at the expense of your future self. The risks of lifestyle debt are real and far-reaching. When you use credit cards or loans to pay for things like designer clothes, the latest phone, or a fancy trip, you're not just spending money you don't have, you're also committing your future income to pay for past pleasures. This can quickly spiral into a cycle where you're always behind, using tomorrow's paycheck to pay for yesterday's fun. The thrill of a new purchase fades fast, but the debt and the interest sticks around, quietly draining your finances and limiting your choices. Over time, lifestyle debt can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and even relationship problems as money worries pile up. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you decide to take a $5,000 vacation but you don't have the cash, so you put it on your credit card. If you only make the minimum payments, you could end up paying thousands more in interest, and it might take years to pay off. That dream trip could turn into a long-term financial burden, making it harder to save for things that truly matter, like a home, your children's education, or your own peace of mind. To avoid falling into the trap of lifestyle debt, start by drawing a clear line between your needs and your wants. Needs are essentials: housing, food, utilities, transportation, healthcare. Wants are the extras: the latest smartphone, designer clothes, high-end electronics, or luxury vacations. Before making any purchase, pause and ask yourself, is this something I truly need, or is it just something I want right now? This simple act of self-reflection can help you resist impulsive decisions that might lead to unnecessary debt. For example, if you're tempted to upgrade your phone because a new model just launched, consider whether your current phone still meets your needs. If it does, you can redirect that money towards savings or a more meaningful goal. Instead of financing your lifestyle with credit cards or personal loans, focus on living within your means and discovering joy in simplicity. For instance, a small, intimate wedding with close friends and family can be just as meaningful, if not more so, than a lavish event that leaves you with a mountain of bills. Consider the emotional and financial relief of starting your marriage without debt. The same principle applies to vacations. A spontaneous road trip, a weekend camping adventure, or exploring local attractions can create unforgettable memories without the stress of paying off debt for months or even years afterward. If you're planning a celebration, think creatively. Host a potluck dinner, organize a picnic in the park, or have a movie night at home. These alternatives can be just as enjoyable and often more memorable because they focus on connection rather than consumption. Here's another practical example. Instead of buying a brand new car with a hefty loan, consider purchasing a reliable used car you can afford with cash, or at least with a much smaller loan. Not only will you avoid years of car payments and interest, but you'll also save on insurance and registration costs. The money you save can be invested or used for experiences that truly enrich your life. When planning for special occasions or trips, set a realistic budget well in advance. Start by researching affordable options, comparing prices, and looking for deals or discounts. Consider traveling during off-peak seasons, which can significantly reduce costs for flights and accommodations. Break down your expenses into categories: transportation, lodging, food, activities, and assign a maximum amount to each. Use budgeting apps or spreadsheets to track your spending as you go. If you find yourself going over budget in one area, look for ways to cut back in another. For example, you might choose a less expensive hotel so you can splurge on a special meal or activity. Always remember, the goal is to enjoy the experience without the lingering stress of debt. A highly effective hands-on strategy is the cash envelope method. At the start of each month, allocate a set amount of cash for discretionary spending categories like entertainment, dining out, or hobbies. Place the cash in labeled envelopes. When an envelope is empty, that's your signal to pause spending in that category until the next month. This method makes your spending tangible and helps you avoid the temptation of swiping a credit card for non-essential purchases. For example, if you budget $100 for dining out and the envelope is empty by the third week, you'll need to get creative with home-cooked meals or free social activities until the next month. This approach builds discipline and awareness around your spending habits. In today's hyper-connected world, it's incredibly easy to feel pressure from social media and advertising to keep up with a certain lifestyle. Scrolling through endless images of exotic vacations, designer clothes, and extravagant parties can make it seem like everyone else is living a life of luxury. But it's important to remember that what you see online is often carefully curated and doesn't reflect the reality behind the scenes. Many people go into debt to maintain these appearances, sacrificing their financial well-being for fleeting moments of validation. For example, someone might post photos from a luxury resort, but what you don't see are the credit card bills piling up at home. Don't let the desire to impress others or fit in with a certain image push you into making financial decisions that could harm your future. To counteract this pressure, consider doing a digital detox or limiting your exposure to social media accounts that trigger comparison or spending urges. Unfollow or mute accounts that make you feel inadequate or tempt you to overspend. Instead, follow creators who promote mindful spending, minimalism, or financial independence. Fill your feed with inspiration for simple living, budgeting tips, and stories of people who have achieved financial freedom by making intentional choices. Remind yourself regularly that your worth isn't measured by what you own or how much you spend, but by your values, your relationships, and the quality of your life. If you find yourself feeling envious or dissatisfied after scrolling, take a break and focus on your own goals and progress. Instead, focus on what truly matters, the quality of your experiences and the relationships you build. Some of the most rewarding moments in life come from simple pleasures, like hiking with friends, sharing a homemade meal, or enjoying a heartfelt conversation over coffee. These experiences don't require a big budget or expensive purchases. They're valuable because of the people you share them with and the memories you create together. Try organizing regular low-cost gatherings like game nights, potlucks, or outdoor adventures. Not only do these activities save money, but they also foster deeper connections and lasting happiness. By choosing to live within your means, you free yourself from the anxiety of debt and open up space for genuine happiness and fulfillment. If you find yourself tempted to overspend, try practicing gratitude for what you already have. Keep a journal where you write down things you're thankful for each day, big or small. This habit can shift your focus from what you lack to what you already enjoy, reducing the urge to spend for emotional reasons. For example, instead of buying new clothes to feel better, reflect on the comfort and memories attached to your favorite outfits. Practicing gratitude can also help you appreciate the experiences and relationships that truly enrich your life, rather than seeking fulfillment through material possessions. Make it a habit to save up for the things you want and pay with cash whenever possible. This approach not only helps you avoid debt, but also encourages you to be more intentional with your spending. When you pay up front, you're more likely to consider whether a purchase or experience is truly worth it. For example, if you're eyeing a new gadget or planning a trip, set aside a specific amount each month until you reach your goal. The anticipation of saving can actually increase your enjoyment and appreciation of the purchase. You'll also enjoy your experiences more, knowing you're not burdened by monthly payments or interest charges. Over time, this discipline will help you build a strong financial foundation, allowing you to pursue bigger goals and dreams without the weight of unnecessary debt holding you back. Another helpful tip is to automate your savings. Set up a separate savings account for specific goals, like travel, celebrations, or big purchases, and arrange for a small amount to be transferred automatically each month. Even $20 or $50 a month can add up over time. Watching your savings grow can be motivating, and it ensures you're prepared when the time comes to spend. You can also use visual aids like progress bars or goal trackers to keep yourself motivated and focused on your objectives. Here's a practical scenario. Suppose you want to buy a new laptop for $1,200. Instead of putting it on a credit card, break the goal into manageable chunks. Save $100 a month for a year. Not only will you avoid interest charges, but you'll also have time to research the best deals, and you might even find you don't need the latest model after all. This method can be applied to any big purchase or experience, from home upgrades to dream vacations. Prioritize what truly matters to you, and don't fall into the trap of lifestyle debt. Remember, meaningful experiences are about connection, joy, and being present, not about how much you spend. By choosing to live within your means and avoiding debt for lifestyle expenses, you empower yourself to build lasting wealth, reduce stress, and create a life filled with purpose and freedom. Let your financial choices reflect your values, and let your financial freedom enhance your life, not hold you back. If you ever feel tempted to splurge, revisit your goals and remind yourself of the bigger picture: financial independence, peace of mind, and the ability to say yes to opportunities that truly matter. In summary, avoiding lifestyle debt is about making conscious choices, planning ahead, and finding satisfaction in simplicity. With practical strategies like budgeting, saving, mindful spending, and gratitude, you can enjoy life's best moments without the shadow of debt. Remember, every dollar you don't spend on fleeting pleasures is a dollar you can invest in your future, your dreams, and your freedom. When it comes to making smart financial decisions, buying used cars stands out as one of the most effective ways to keep more money in your pocket. Many people are tempted by the allure of a brand new vehicle, but the reality is that new cars lose a significant portion of their value the moment they leave the dealership lot. In fact, a new car can depreciate by as much as 20 to 30% within the first year alone. Let's put that into perspective. If you buy a $30,000 new car, you could lose up to $9,000 in value just in the first year. That's money you'll never get back. By choosing a used car, you're essentially letting the previous owner absorb that steepest drop in value. You get a vehicle that's still reliable, often with many years of life left, at a fraction of the original price. For example, a 3-year-old car might cost 40% less than its new counterpart, but still offer the same features and performance. Used cars also help you avoid taking on massive loans. With lower purchase prices, you can often pay cash or take out a much smaller loan, which means less interest paid over time and more financial freedom for you and your family. This can save you thousands of dollars over the life of your vehicle. For instance, financing a $15,000 used car instead of a $30,000 new one could cut your monthly payments in half and reduce your total interest paid by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But how do you make sure you're getting a reliable used car? Start by researching models known for their durability and low maintenance costs. Look for brands and models with a reputation for longevity. Think Toyota, Honda, Subaru, or Ford. Always check the vehicle's maintenance records and get a trusted mechanic to inspect the car before you buy. A thorough inspection can reveal hidden issues and save you from expensive repairs down the road. Don't forget to review the vehicle history report for accidents, title issues, and service history. The main job of your car is to get you from point A to point B safely and reliably. You don't need the latest features or the flashiest model to accomplish that. In fact, many used cars come with modern safety features and technology at a much lower price. Look for certified pre-owned vehicles, which often include warranties, and have passed rigorous inspections, giving you extra peace of mind. Skip the hype around the latest models and avoid the pressure to upgrade every few years. Instead, focus on finding a well-maintained, reliable used car that fits your needs and budget. This approach not only saves you money up front, but also reduces ongoing costs like insurance and registration, which are often lower for used vehicles. Used cars also tend to have lower property taxes and registration fees, adding to your savings. Always check used options first when you're in the market for a vehicle. With a little research and patience, you can find a dependable car that offers the best value for your money, helping you stay on track with your minimalist financial goals. Remember, the smartest purchase is one that meets your needs, fits your budget, and keeps more money in your pocket for the things that truly matter. One of the most powerful habits you can develop for long-term financial stability is conducting a thorough review of your expenses twice a year. But how do you actually do it? Let's break it down into a simple, step-by-step guide that anyone can follow. This isn't just a quick glance at your bank statement. It's a deep dive into your financial life, designed to uncover hidden patterns, eliminate waste, and realign your spending with your values and goals. Step 1. Schedule your review. Choose 2 fixed dates each year, such as the first weekend of January and July, and block them off in your calendar as non-negotiable appointments. Treat these dates with the same importance as a doctor's visit or a work deadline. Set reminders on your phone or calendar so you never forget. Step 2. Gather all your financial information. Before your review, collect every piece of financial data you can. Bank and credit card statements, receipts, digital payment records, and even cash transaction logs if you keep them. Don't forget to include online payment platforms like PayPal or Venmo and any apps you use for purchases. If you live with a partner or share finances, invite them to join you so you're both on the same page. Step 3. Set up your space. Find a quiet, comfortable environment, maybe your favorite chair or a tidy workspace where you can focus without interruptions. Prepare a cup of tea or coffee and give yourself at least 1 to 2 hours for a truly comprehensive review. Have a notepad or digital document ready to jot down notes and insights. Step 4. Categorize your expenses. Start by breaking your expenses into clear categories. Fixed expenses are those that stay the same each month. Think rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance premiums, loan payments, and essential subscriptions. List these out first, and note if any have changed recently. Next, move on to variable expenses which can fluctuate: groceries, dining out, transportation, entertainment, shopping, and personal care. For each category, compare your current spending to previous months, or even better, to the same period last year. Use spreadsheets, budgeting apps, or even colored pens to visualize trends. Step 5. Identify commonly overlooked costs. Many people miss small recurring charges that add up over time. Examples include forgotten app subscriptions, cloud storage fees, annual renewals for services you no longer use, automatic charity donations, or even bank account maintenance fees. Other overlooked costs might be ATM withdrawal fees, late payment charges, or free trials that turned into paid subscriptions. Go through your statements line by line and highlight anything you don't immediately recognize. Step 6. Ask the right questions. For every expense, ask, did this purchase bring me real value? Would I make the same choice again? When you spot categories that have grown, brainstorm ways to reduce them, like meal planning to cut food waste, carpooling, or setting a monthly cap on entertainment. If you notice your grocery bills creeping up, check for impulse buys or convenience foods. If your transportation costs are high, consider public transit or biking for short trips. Step 7. Review recurring charges and subscriptions. These are often the sneakiest sources of wasted money. Make a list of every subscription you pay for: streaming services, cloud storage, apps, gym memberships, magazines, and even annual renewals you might forget about. For each one, ask, have I used this in the last month? Is it truly adding value to my life? If the answer is no, cancel it immediately. Don't overlook small monthly fees. These can add up to hundreds of dollars a year. For services you still use but feel are overpriced, call the provider and negotiate. Many companies will offer discounts or promotions if you simply ask, especially if you mention you're considering canceling. If you're not comfortable negotiating, look for alternatives. There are often free or lower cost options available. Document every change you make and calculate your total monthly savings. Redirect this money immediately. Set up an automatic transfer to your savings account, investment fund, or a specific goal like a vacation or emergency fund. Step 8. Spot and plug expense leaks. Look for those small, often overlooked purchases that drain your resources without providing much value. Examples include daily snacks, unused memberships, impulse online buys, frequent delivery fees, or even that extra streaming service you rarely use. For each leak, decide whether to eliminate it entirely or set a strict monthly limit. If you find yourself repeatedly overspending in a certain area, try using cash envelopes or prepaid cards to enforce boundaries. Track your progress by updating your budget or using a habit tracker. As you cut back, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Redirect the money you save into something meaningful: an emergency fund, a travel fund, or even a fun money account for guilt-free treats. Step 9. Organize and declutter. As you review, shred or securely dispose of old paperwork you no longer need, and keep only what's necessary for your records. Consider digitizing important documents for easier access and less physical clutter. This not only keeps your space tidy but also makes future reviews easier and less overwhelming. Update your list of financial goals, both short-term and long-term. Are you saving for a home, a new car, or early retirement? Write these goals down and track your progress visually, whether on a notepad, a spreadsheet, or a vision board. Step 10. Reflect and celebrate. The peace of mind you gain from knowing exactly where your money is going is invaluable. After each review, take a moment to reflect on your progress. Journal about what you've learned. Express gratitude for your financial wins, and set 1 or 2 new intentions for the next 6 months. If you're comfortable, share your review process with a trusted friend or partner for added accountability and support. Reward yourself for sticking to this habit, whether it's a favorite treat, a relaxing activity, or simply enjoying the calm that comes from financial clarity. Make this twice-yearly review a cornerstone of your financial routine. Mark it on your calendar, set recurring reminders, and treat it as an essential appointment with your future self. If you struggle to stay motivated, consider pairing your review with something enjoyable, like a special breakfast, a walk in nature, or a cozy evening in. Over time, this simple but powerful practice will help you avoid wasteful spending, stay aligned with your goals, and ensure your money is always working for you. Remember, financial clarity is a gift you give yourself, one that pays off in peace of mind, resilience, and lasting security. Start today and watch how this habit transforms not just your finances, but your entire approach to life. Impulse buys are one of the biggest threats to minimalist money habits, and they're more common than you might think. Whether you're shopping in a store, browsing online, or even just scrolling through social media, it's incredibly easy to get swept up in the excitement of a new product, a limited-time discount, or a clever ad that promises happiness with just one click. Retailers and marketers are experts at triggering your emotions, using bright colors, countdown timers, and phrases like, "only a few left," to create a sense of urgency and make you feel like you'll miss out if you don't act fast. These tactics are designed to bypass your logical thinking and tap directly into your desire for novelty, status, or comfort. But these quick decisions often lead to regret, clutter, and wasted money, leaving you with things you don't truly need and less cash for what matters. Think about the last time you bought something on a whim. How long did it actually bring you joy? How often did you use it? Most of us can point to items in our homes that were bought in the heat of the moment, only to gather dust or end up in the donation pile. That's where the 72-hour rule comes in, a simple but powerful tool to help you pause, reflect, and make smarter choices with your money. Here's how it works. Whenever you feel the urge to buy something non-essential, like a new gadget, a trendy piece of clothing, or the latest kitchen appliance, stop and wait for 3 full days before making the purchase. This isn't just about delaying gratification, it's about giving your brain time to move past the initial emotional high and engage your rational thinking. Physically step away from the item, close the shopping tab, or put your wallet back in your pocket. Set a reminder on your phone, mark your calendar, or even leave yourself a sticky note to revisit the decision after 72 hours have passed. If you're shopping online, use the Save for Later or Wishlist feature instead of leaving items in your cart, which can tempt you to buy impulsively. If you're in a store, take a photo of the product and walk away. This small act can help break the cycle of instant gratification. Let's look at a few real-life scenarios to see how the 72-hour rule can save you from impulse spending. Imagine you're at the mall and spot a pair of shoes on sale. Your size, your style, and the sign says, "Today only." Your heart races and you picture yourself wearing them, but instead of buying, you snap a photo, set a reminder on your phone, and walk away. Over the next 3 days, you realize you already have similar shoes at home, and the urge fades. You've just saved yourself money and avoided adding clutter to your closet. Or maybe you're online late at night and a flash sale pops up for a kitchen gadget you didn't know you needed. You add it to your wish list and close the tab. By the time 72 hours pass, you've forgotten about it, or you realize it's not worth the space or the cost. In both cases, the 72-hour rule acts as a buffer, giving you time to separate genuine needs from fleeting wants. During this waiting period, give yourself time to reflect deeply. Ask yourself, do I really need this item, or am I just reacting to a fleeting desire? Is this purchase aligned with my values and long-term goals, or is it just a temporary fix for boredom, stress, or social pressure? Try to imagine your life a week, a month, or even a year from now. Will this item still matter, or will it end up forgotten in a drawer or closet? Consider the true cost of the purchase, not just the price tag, but the space it will take up, the maintenance it might require, and the opportunity cost of not saving or investing that money. If you're shopping online, move the item to your wish list instead of your cart. If you're in a store, take a photo of the product and walk away. These small actions help break the cycle of instant gratification and give you a chance to make a more intentional decision. Let's dive deeper with another scenario. Suppose you're feeling stressed after a long week and you see an ad for the latest wireless headphones. The reviews are glowing, and you convince yourself they'll make your commute better. But you apply the 72-hour rule. You write the item down, set a reminder, and wait. Over the next 3 days, you talk to a friend who already owns them and realize your current headphones work just fine. You decide to skip the purchase, and instead, you transfer the money you would have spent into your savings account. Not only have you avoided an unnecessary expense, but you've also taken a step toward your bigger financial goals. This is the power of the 72-hour rule in action. It transforms a moment of temptation into an opportunity for reflection and growth. Here are a few practical tips to make the 72-hour rule work for you. Use your phone's reminder or calendar app to set a specific time to revisit the purchase. Don't just rely on memory. If you're shopping online, use the wish list or save for later feature instead of leaving items in your cart, which can create a sense of urgency. If you're tempted in a store, take a photo and leave. Don't let yourself linger, and avoid returning to the store unless you're sure. Try keeping a cooling off list in your notes app or journal, where you write down every non-essential item you want to buy and review it weekly. If you still want the item after 72 hours, check if it fits your budget and aligns with your values before buying. And remember, sometimes the urge to buy fades completely, saving you money and space. So the next time you're tempted by something new, don't rush. Set a reminder for 72 hours. Give yourself permission to wait, reflect, and make a conscious choice. You might just discover that you prefer seeing your cash grow in your account rather than accumulating more stuff you don't really need. The 72-hour rule is a simple habit, but it can transform your relationship with money and help you live a more intentional, minimalist life. Remember, every mindful decision brings you closer to financial freedom and a clutter-free life. The more you practice this rule, the easier it becomes to resist temptation, prioritize your true needs, and build a future that's rich in meaning, not just possessions. By using the 72-hour rule, you're not just saving money, you're building a habit of intentional living, one thoughtful decision at a time. In today's world, we're surrounded by messages that try to convince us our worth is tied to what we own. From billboards to social media feeds, advertising is designed to make us feel incomplete without the latest products, the trendiest clothes, or the most advanced gadgets. It's not just companies, celebrity culture, and even our own friends can unintentionally pressure us to keep up, to buy things that signal status or belonging. This constant exposure can make it incredibly easy to fall into the trap of buying for identity, purchasing things not because we need them, but because we want to project a certain image or fit in with a particular group. But what does it really mean to buy for identity, and how is it different from buying for utility? Buying for identity means making purchases to shape how others see you or to reinforce a certain image of yourself. It's when you buy the designer shirt, not because it's more comfortable or better made, but because the logo makes you feel more accepted or admired. Or when you upgrade your phone every year, not because your old one stopped working, but because you want to be seen as someone who always has the latest tech. In contrast, buying for utility is about function and purpose. It's choosing the item that best serves your real needs, regardless of brand, trend, or what others might think. For example, picking a sturdy, affordable backpack that will last for years, instead of a flashy branded one that costs 3 times as much but offers no extra benefit, or buying a reliable used car that fits your budget and lifestyle, rather than stretching your finances for a luxury model just to impress your peers. To clarify the difference, let's look at some practical examples. Imagine you need a new winter coat. Buying for identity might mean choosing the most recognizable brand, even if it's out of your price range, just to feel stylish or accepted. Buying for utility means focusing on warmth, durability, and fit, choosing the coat that will keep you comfortable through the season, regardless of the label. Or consider kitchen gadgets. Do you really need the latest high-tech blender, or will a simple, reliable model do the job just as well? When you buy for utility, you prioritize what works for you, not what looks impressive on your countertop. The same principle applies to everyday decisions, from shoes to smartphones to groceries. So, how can you make sure you're buying for utility, not identity? Here are some decision-making tips you can use every time you shop. First, ask yourself, what problem does this item solve for me? Will it make my life easier, more comfortable, or more efficient? If the answer is yes, and you don't already own something that serves the same purpose, it's likely a utility purchase. Next, consider whether you're drawn to the item because of its function, or because of how it will make you look or feel in the eyes of others. If it's mostly about image, pause and reconsider. Another helpful strategy is to implement a waiting period for non-essential purchases. If you see something you want, give yourself at least 24 hours, or even a week before buying it. During this time, ask yourself if you still feel the same urge to own it, or if the excitement has faded. Often, you'll realize you didn't truly need the item after all. You can also create two lists, one for needs and one for wants. Before shopping, review your lists and commit to prioritizing needs over wants. This simple act can help you stay focused and avoid impulse buys. And if you're ever unsure, try talking it over with someone you trust, or writing down your reasons for wanting the item. Sometimes, seeing your motivations in black and white can help you make a clearer, more intentional decision. Social pressure and trends can be powerful, but remember, your self-worth isn't measured by your possessions. The most meaningful things in life, relationships, experiences, and personal growth, can't be bought in a store. Instead of spending money to impress others, focus on investing in what truly matters to you. This could mean spending time learning a new skill, enjoying quality moments with loved ones, or improving your health and well-being. If you find yourself tempted by trends, try unfollowing accounts or unsubscribing from emails that trigger the urge to buy. Surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, not what you own. And remember, it's okay to stand out by not following the crowd. Often, the most confident people are those who are comfortable with their own choices, regardless of what others think. Financial freedom is built on choices that reflect your true needs and values, not on chasing the latest trends or trying to impress others. By consistently buying for utility, you not only save money, but also create a life that's simpler, more intentional, and ultimately more fulfilling. Every purchase you make is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. Choose wisely. Let your spending reflect your authentic self, not the version advertisers want you to become. Over time, you'll find that your possessions serve you rather than the other way around, and that's the true essence of minimalist financial freedom, living with purpose, clarity, and peace of mind. Minimalism isn't just about reducing the number of things you own, it's about elevating the quality and meaning of everything you choose to keep. When you intentionally decide to own fewer possessions, you open up physical and mental space for what truly matters. This approach isn't about deprivation or living with the bare minimum. It's about curating your environment so that every item serves a purpose, tells a story, or brings you genuine happiness. Imagine entering a room where every object is carefully chosen, each with its own significance, perhaps a chair that reminds you of a special trip, or a table handcrafted by a local artisan. This is the heart of owning fewer, but better. Your surroundings become a reflection of your values, experiences, and aspirations. But why does owning fewer, higher-quality items matter so much? When you fill your life with thoughtfully selected, well-made possessions, you create an environment that supports your well-being and reduces stress. High-quality items tend to last longer, perform better, and often require less frequent replacement, which saves you money and effort over time. Instead of constantly shopping for replacements, you can focus on enjoying and caring for what you already have. Invest in quality items that are built to last and that you genuinely enjoy using. For example, instead of buying several pairs of inexpensive shoes that wear out quickly, save up for 1 or 2 pairs made from durable materials and expert craftsmanship. The same principle applies to clothing, kitchenware, electronics, and even furniture. When you prioritize quality over quantity, you not only reduce the frequency of replacements, but you also develop a deeper appreciation for the things you own. A well-made winter coat, for instance, can keep you warm for many seasons, while a cheap alternative may lose its shape or warmth after just a few months. Choosing wisely is key. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, will this item still be useful and in good condition 5 or 10 years from now? Is it something I can repair, maintain, or upgrade if needed? Research brands known for their durability, read reviews, and consider the materials and construction. Look for warranties or repair services, and don't be afraid to ask questions about how an item is made. This extra effort up front pays off in the long run, saving you money and reducing waste. Take a thorough inventory of everything you own. Set aside time to go through each room, drawer, and closet. As you handle each item, ask yourself, do I use this regularly? Does it serve a real purpose in my life? Does it bring me joy or support my daily routines? Be honest. Sometimes we hold on to things out of guilt, habit, or the fear that we might need them someday. Instead, focus on what you truly use and love. For items that no longer fit your life, consider donating, selling, or recycling them. This process can be emotional, but it's also incredibly freeing. Try using the one in, one out rule. Whenever you bring something new into your home, commit to letting go of something else. This simple habit keeps clutter at bay and ensures that every item you own has earned its place. Once you've chosen to keep only the best, maintaining your possessions becomes essential. Regularly clean, repair, and care for your items to extend their lifespan and keep them looking and functioning their best. For example, polish your shoes, sharpen your knives, and follow care instructions for clothing and electronics. Learn basic maintenance skills like sewing on a button or oiling wooden furniture so you can handle small repairs yourself. This not only saves money, but also deepens your connection to the things you own. Apply the principle of quality over quantity to every area of your life. In your wardrobe, consider building a capsule collection, a small number of versatile, well-made pieces that can be mixed and matched for any occasion. For example, a classic white shirt, a tailored blazer, and a pair of durable jeans can form the foundation of countless outfits, saving you time and decision fatigue each morning. In the kitchen, focus on acquiring reliable, multi-purpose tools, like a sharp chef's knife, a sturdy cast-iron skillet, or a high-quality blender, that make cooking enjoyable and efficient. Avoid filling your cabinets with single-use gadgets or cheap utensils that break easily. The same goes for technology. Invest in devices that are upgradable, repairable, and supported by good customer service rather than chasing the latest trends. The benefits of this approach go far beyond aesthetics. A minimalist, well-curated space leads to less clutter, less stress, and a greater sense of calm and control. When your environment is free from excess, it's easier to focus on what truly matters. Whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing creative projects, or simply relaxing. Research shows that cluttered spaces can increase anxiety, lower productivity, and even disrupt sleep, while tidy, intentional environments promote mental clarity and well-being. By choosing to own fewer, but better, you create a home that supports your goals and nurtures your peace of mind. Every item you choose to keep should serve a clear purpose or bring you genuine happiness. Surround yourself with things that tell your story, perhaps a mug from your favorite cafe, a photo that reminds you of family, or a piece of art that inspires you. Let go of anything that no longer fits your life, and notice how your environment and your mindset begin to shift. Make it a habit to review your belongings regularly, perhaps once a month or at the change of each season. Ask yourself, does this still serve me? Does it still make me happy? Over time, you'll find it easier to let go of the unnecessary and more rewarding to keep only the best. Prioritize quality in every purchase, and you'll soon realize you need far less than you ever thought. By owning fewer, but better, you create a life filled with intention, satisfaction, and lasting value. Remember, minimalism isn't about denying yourself pleasure or comfort. It's about making room for what truly matters, and letting go of the rest. Start small. Pick one area of your home, a drawer, a shelf, or a closet, and commit to simplifying it this week. As you experience the benefits, expand this practice to other areas of your life. Over time, you'll build a collection of possessions that support your best self every single day. And perhaps most importantly, you'll discover that true abundance comes not from having more, but from cherishing what you have. And by caring for your possessions, you ensure they continue to serve you well, year after year, reminding you that quality, not quantity, is the foundation of a rich and meaningful life. Social media platforms are meticulously designed to capture your attention and keep you scrolling for as long as possible, but there's another layer to this. They're also engineered to make you spend. Every swipe, every tap, and every story you view is an opportunity for advertisers and influencers to plant the seed of desire. You might start your day feeling perfectly satisfied, but after just a few minutes on your favorite app, you're bombarded with images of people showing off the latest gadgets, designer clothes, luxury cars, and exotic vacations. These posts are rarely spontaneous. They're often the result of paid partnerships, sponsorships, or carefully staged moments meant to sell you a lifestyle. Even if you know it's curated, it's easy to feel like you're missing out or falling behind. This constant exposure can trigger feelings of inadequacy, envy, or the urge to keep up, even if you never felt that way before opening the app. The pressure is relentless, with algorithms learning your preferences and feeding you more of what tempts you most, from targeted ads for flash sales to influencer recommendations that blur the line between genuine advice and subtle sales pitches. It's not just about seeing what others have, it's about being nudged over and over to want more, buy more, and spend more, often without even realizing it. The impact of materialistic social media goes deeper than just your wallet. Studies show that frequent exposure to luxury lifestyles and consumerist content can actually lower your self-esteem, increase anxiety, and make you feel less satisfied with your own life. When you see influencers and celebrities constantly flaunting new purchases, it creates a distorted sense of what's normal or necessary. You might start to believe that happiness is tied to owning the latest phone, wearing designer brands, or traveling to exotic destinations. This mindset can lead to impulsive spending, mounting credit card debt, and a cycle of always chasing the next big thing, never feeling truly content. Over time, this can erode your financial stability and distract you from your real goals, like saving for the future, building meaningful relationships, or investing in experiences that genuinely enrich your life. The more you compare yourself to these curated images, the harder it becomes to appreciate what you already have. To protect both your mindset and your money, it's crucial to take control of your digital environment. Start by identifying which platforms and accounts trigger the strongest urges to spend or compare. Limit your time on these platforms by setting daily app limits. Most smartphones now have built-in features for this. Or use browser extensions that block access to shopping sites and filter out ads. Go through your following list and unfollow or mute accounts that constantly showcase products, luxury lifestyles, or encourage impulse spending. If you notice certain brands or influencers consistently make you feel envious, anxious, or dissatisfied with your own life, don't hesitate to mute, unfollow, or even block them. You can also adjust your ad preferences on most platforms to reduce the number of targeted ads you see. Look for settings like ad topics or ad preferences, and opt out of categories that tempt you. For an extra layer of protection, consider deleting shopping apps from your phone, unsubscribing from marketing emails, or turning off notifications for sales and promotions. Remember, your feed should serve your goals, not manipulate your desires. Take a few minutes each week to audit your digital space. Ask yourself, does this account inspire me, or does it make me want to spend unnecessarily? Another powerful strategy is to create physical and mental boundaries around your social media use. Designate certain times of day as phone-free zones, like during meals, before bed, or when you're working on personal projects. Use features like Do Not Disturb or app timers to help you stick to these boundaries. If you find yourself mindlessly reaching for your phone, replace that habit with something intentional, like reading, journaling, or going for a walk. The less you expose yourself to materialistic content, the less power it has over your thoughts and decisions. Instead of letting your feed be a source of temptation, intentionally curate it to support your minimalist and financial goals. Follow creators who inspire you to live simply, save money, and focus on what truly matters. There are countless accounts dedicated to frugal living, decluttering, mindful spending, and financial independence. Seek out online communities or groups that share actionable tips on budgeting, saving, and living with less. For example, you might join a Facebook group for people on a debt-free journey, follow a YouTube channel about minimalism, or subscribe to newsletters that focus on intentional living. Save posts that offer practical advice, like meal planning on a budget, DIY home organization, or ways to enjoy life without spending. The more you surround yourself with positive, practical advice, the easier it becomes to resist unnecessary purchases and stay motivated on your journey. Engage with this content. Comment, share, and participate in challenges or discussions. The more active you are in these supportive spaces, the more your mindset will shift from "what am I missing" to "how can I make the most of what I have?" Remember, social media can be a powerful tool for growth if you use it intentionally. By filling your feed with content that aligns with your values, you'll start to see spending less as something positive and empowering, not as a sacrifice. Over time, you'll notice that you're less tempted by trends and more focused on your own goals and priorities. Be intentional with what you consume and how you interact with social media. Take a moment to reflect on how certain accounts, ads, or even entire platforms make you feel. Are they encouraging you to spend or helping you grow? Set clear boundaries for your social media use. This could mean limiting your daily screen time, scheduling regular digital detoxes, or simply being more mindful about what you engage with. Try journaling about your social media habits. Write down which accounts make you feel inspired versus which ones trigger negative emotions or spending urges. Notice patterns. Do you tend to shop online late at night or after seeing certain types of posts? Even small changes like turning off notifications, leaving your phone in another room during meals, or setting a no screens after 9 p.m. rule can make a big difference in your mood and your spending. Consider using apps that track your screen time and send you reminders when you're close to your limit. The goal isn't to eliminate social media entirely, but to use it in a way that supports your values and well-being. The less you expose yourself to ads and constant comparisons, the easier it becomes to stay focused on your own goals and values. You'll find more peace, less stress, and a greater appreciation for what you already have. Replace screen time with activities that enrich your life. Read a book, cook a meal from scratch, spend time with loved ones, or simply enjoy a quiet moment of reflection. Try scheduling regular phone-free evenings or weekends where you focus on hobbies, nature, or meaningful conversations. Practice mindfulness. Notice when you're reaching for your phone out of habit and ask yourself if it's truly serving you. Remember, happiness isn't found in the next purchase or the next trend. It's found in contentment, gratitude, and intentional living. The more you practice these habits, the less power social media and advertising will have over your decisions. Take action today. Don't just think about it. Actually clean up your feed, set boundaries, and choose to follow accounts that support your minimalist journey. Make a checklist. Unfollow brands and influencers that don't align with your values. Set screen limits and follow creators who inspire you to live simply and spend intentionally. Consider deleting shopping apps, unsubscribing from marketing emails, and turning off notifications for sales or promotions to further reduce temptation. Write down your own personal rules for social media use, like no scrolling after 9 p.m. or only follow accounts that make me feel empowered. Review your progress regularly and celebrate the positive changes you notice in your mindset, your spending, and your overall well-being. Your mind, your wallet, and your future self will thank you for making social media a tool for inspiration, not a trigger for spending. Remember, you have the power to shape your digital environment. Use it to build the life you truly want. By reducing your exposure to materialistic social media and focusing on your personal goals, you'll find more freedom, more clarity, and more lasting happiness. In a world that constantly encourages us to want more, buy more, and do more, choosing to keep a simple life is a powerful act of self-care and financial wisdom. But what does it really mean to live simply? It's not about denying yourself joy or living with the bare minimum. Instead, it's about making conscious choices to focus on what truly matters to you, your values, your relationships, your well-being, and letting go of the excess that clutters your mind, your home, and your finances. Let's break down a comprehensive guide to keeping life simple with actionable steps and real-life examples to help you along the way. Step 1. Clarify your priorities. Start by asking yourself what truly matters most to you. Is it spending time with family, pursuing a passion, or maintaining your health? Write down your top 5 values. For example, Sarah, a busy professional, realized her top priorities were family, health, creativity, learning, and peace of mind. This clarity helped her make decisions that aligned with her values, like saying no to extra work projects that took time away from her family. Step 2. Declutter your physical space. Begin with one area, your closet, your kitchen, or your workspace. take everything out and only put back what you use and love. For instance, Mark decided to tackle his overflowing closet. He sorted his clothes into 3 piles: keep, donate, and toss. By letting go of clothes he hadn't worn in years, he created a calm, organized space that made getting dressed each morning easier and more enjoyable. Step 3. Adopt the one-in, one-out rule. For every new item you bring into your home, let go of something else. This keeps your possessions in check and encourages mindful consumption. For example, if you buy a new pair of shoes, donate an old pair. This simple habit prevents clutter from building up again. Step 4. Simplify your schedule. Take a close look at your calendar. Are you overcommitted? Practice saying no to activities that don't align with your priorities. For example, Lisa found herself exhausted from attending every social event she was invited to. She started limiting herself to 2 meaningful gatherings per month, freeing up time for rest and hobbies she truly enjoyed. Step 5. Create white space. Schedule unstructured time in your week for rest, reflection, or spontaneous activities. Use a planner or digital calendar to block off these moments. For example, David, a father of 2, began reserving Sunday mornings for family walks in the park. No phones, no plans, just time together. This became a cherished weekly ritual. Step 6. Streamline your finances. Make your money work for you by creating a budget that reflects your values. Track your expenses for a month to see where your money goes. Identify areas to cut back, like unused subscriptions or frequent takeout. For example, Maria realized she was spending $100 a month on streaming services she rarely used. She canceled all but one, saving money and reducing digital clutter. Step 7. Automate savings and bills. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account and automate bill payments. This reduces stress and ensures you're consistently saving. For instance, Tom set up an automatic transfer of $50 each payday into his emergency fund. Over a year, he built a safety net without even thinking about it. Step 8. Practice mindful spending. Before making a purchase, pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values? Will it add lasting value to my life? For example, before buying a new gadget, Emily waited 30 days. By the end of the month, she realized she didn't really need it, and the urge passed. Step 9. Declutter digitally. Unsubscribe from emails you never read, delete unused apps, and organize your digital files. For example, Alex spent an afternoon cleaning up his inbox and unsubscribing from dozens of promotional emails. Now, he spends less time sorting through clutter and more time on what matters. Step 10. Practice gratitude daily. Keep a gratitude journal and write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. This simple habit shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. For example, Priya started her mornings by jotting down small joys: her morning coffee, a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunrise. Over time, she felt more content and less tempted by unnecessary purchases. Step 11. Nurture simple joys and relationships. Invest your time and energy in experiences and people, not things. Plan regular game nights, cook simple meals together, or take walks in nature. For example, the Johnson family replaced their weekly restaurant outings with homemade pizza nights and board games at home, saving money and deepening their bond. Step 12. Limit digital distractions. Set boundaries for screen time and social media. Use apps that block distracting sites during work hours and designate tech-free times, like during meals or before bed. For example, Sam turned off notifications and set his phone to Do Not Disturb after 8 p.m., leading to better sleep and more meaningful evening routines. Step 13. Embrace imperfection and progress. Remember, simplicity is a journey, not a destination. Start small, celebrate each step, and be patient with yourself. For example, Mia decluttered 1 drawer a week instead of trying to tackle her whole house at once. Over several months, her home became a peaceful, organized space. Real-life example: the Miller family. The Millers decided to simplify their lives after feeling overwhelmed by clutter and busy schedules. They started by decluttering 1 room each weekend, canceling unnecessary subscriptions, and planning simple family outings. Over time, they found they had more time, more money, and more joy in everyday moments, like reading together in the living room or cooking a meal from scratch. Keeping a simple life is about making intentional choices every day. By clarifying your values, decluttering your space, simplifying your schedule, and being mindful with your money and time, you create room for what truly matters: Ultimately, simplicity leads to a richer, more meaningful life in every way. By letting go of the unnecessary, whether it's clutter, obligations, or distractions, you make room for joy, peace, and abundance. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Even small steps towards simplicity can have a big impact over time. Start today. Choose one area to simplify, take one small action, and notice the difference it makes. Over time, you'll discover that less truly can be more, and that the greatest wealth often comes from appreciating the simple joys all around you. The final and perhaps most profound rule: money isn't everything. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages that equate success and happiness with financial gain, possessions, and outward displays of wealth. Social media, advertising, and even well-meaning friends and family can reinforce the idea that our value is tied to our net worth. But if you pause and look deeper, you'll realize that true fulfillment and lasting happiness rarely come from material wealth alone. Let me share a story. Years ago, I met a man named David who lived in a small, modest apartment. He didn't have a fancy car or the latest gadgets, but every Sunday his home was filled with laughter as friends and family gathered for potluck dinners. David's joy came not from what he owned, but from the connections he nurtured. He once told me, "I may not have much, but I have everything I need." That simple truth stuck with me. Money, at its core, is a tool. It can provide comfort, security, and open doors to opportunities, but it is not the destination. It's simply a means to help you live the life you want. If you make money your sole focus, you risk missing out on the richness of life that can't be bought. Consider this: some of the most joyful, memorable moments, laughing with friends until your sides hurt, sharing a homemade meal with family, watching a sunrise in silence, cost little or nothing at all. These experiences are rich in meaning, not in price. I remember a time when I was struggling financially, yet some of my happiest days were spent walking in the park with a close friend, talking for hours, or cooking a simple meal together. Those moments taught me that fulfillment is found in connection, not consumption. When we become overly focused on accumulating wealth, we can lose sight of the simple joys that make life truly worthwhile. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, if I just had a little more, then I'd be happy. But happiness is rarely found in the next purchase or the next pay raise. The greatest value of money lies in the freedom and security it can offer, not in the accumulation of possessions or status symbols. For example, having an emergency fund can reduce anxiety and give you peace of mind, knowing you're prepared for life's unexpected challenges. On the other hand, buying the latest gadget or designer item might give you a brief thrill, but that feeling fades quickly, often replaced by the urge for the next new thing. When you use money intentionally, to support your needs, nurture your relationships, and create meaningful experiences, you unlock its true potential. Imagine using your resources to take a class you've always wanted, to travel and broaden your perspective, or to help a loved one in need. These choices create lasting memories and deepen your sense of purpose. Here's another story. A friend of mine, Sarah, once saved for months to take her grandmother on a train trip across the country. They spent days watching the landscape roll by, sharing stories and making memories. Years later, Sarah told me that trip was the best money she ever spent, not because of the destination, but because of the time and love shared. Actionable advice. Start by setting clear priorities for your spending. Ask yourself, will this purchase add real, lasting value to my life, or is it just a fleeting pleasure? Try tracking your spending for a month, not just the amounts, but the reasons behind each purchase. At the end of the month, reflect on which expenses genuinely improved your well-being, and which were simply filling a void or trying to impress others. Consider creating a values-based budget, where you allocate more resources to what truly matters to you, like experiences, learning, or giving back, and less to things that don't align with your core values. Chasing wealth for its own sake often leads to stress, burnout, and a sense of emptiness. The pursuit of more money, more things, more status, can become a never-ending cycle that distracts us from what truly matters. Studies show that after a certain point, more money doesn't make us happier. In fact, it can even increase our worries and take time away from the people and activities we love. For example, working overtime to afford a bigger house might mean less time with your family, less energy for your passions, and less presence in your daily life. Or constantly upgrading your phone or wardrobe could leave you feeling unsatisfied, always chasing the next best thing but never feeling truly content. Instead, Focus on what you already have and how you can make the most of it. Ask yourself, what am I sacrificing in the pursuit of more? Is it worth it? I once knew a woman named Maria who downsized her life after years of chasing promotions and pay raises. She moved into a smaller home, cut back on work hours, and spent more time with her children. Maria told me, "I finally feel like I'm living, not just earning." Her story is a reminder that sometimes, less truly, is more. Instead, use money to support your real priorities, like spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, and investing in your well-being. The most meaningful moments in life are often the simplest: a shared meal, a walk in nature, a heartfelt conversation, or a creative project. These experiences don't require a lot of money, but they do require intention and presence. Practical tip: schedule regular no-spend days or weekends where you focus on free or low-cost activities. Use this time to reconnect with friends, explore a local park, start a creative project at home, or simply rest and recharge. You might be surprised at how much joy and connection you can find without spending a dime. Consider making this a regular habit, perhaps once a week or once a month, to remind yourself that happiness isn't dependent on consumption. Here's a challenge. For one weekend, put away your wallet and see how creative you can get with your time. Invite friends over for a potluck, go for a hike, or have a movie night with old favorites. Notice how these moments feel compared to a shopping spree or expensive outing. True contentment comes from within, not from your bank account. When you cultivate gratitude for what you have and focus on your inner well-being, you'll find a sense of peace that money simply can't buy. Minimalism teaches us to appreciate the present moment and to find joy in simplicity rather than in constant accumulation. Actionable advice: start a daily gratitude practice. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for, big or small. Over time, you'll notice your mindset shifting from scarcity to abundance. To deepen this practice, try sharing your gratitude with others. Send a thank you note, express appreciation to a friend, or simply reflect on the positive moments of your day. You can also keep a gratitude jar, adding a note each time something good happens, and revisit these notes whenever you need a boost. I once heard about a family who every night at dinner shared one thing they were grateful for. Over time, this simple ritual brought them closer and helped them focus on what truly mattered, even during tough times. The happiest people aren't those with the most money, but those who use what they have wisely to build a life they love. They invest in relationships, experiences, and personal growth, rather than chasing after more things. By aligning your spending with your values, you create a life that feels rich, regardless of your income. Try this. Before making a purchase, pause and ask yourself if it aligns with your core values. If it doesn't, consider redirecting that money towards something that truly matters to you, like a family outing, a class you've always wanted to take, or a donation to a cause you care about. You can even create a values list. Write down your top 5 priorities in life and use this list as a guide whenever you're tempted to spend impulsively. Over time, you'll find it easier to say no to things that don't serve your deeper goals. Here's a story to inspire you. A couple I know decided to skip exchanging expensive gifts for their anniversary. Instead, they spent the day volunteering at a local animal shelter, then cooked a meal together at home. They told me it was their most meaningful anniversary yet, filled with laughter, connection, and a sense of purpose. Ultimately, true wealth is about needing less, not having more. When you let go of the pressure to constantly accumulate, you make space for what really matters: connection, purpose, and peace of mind. Remember, money is just one part of a meaningful life. Use it wisely, but never let it define your happiness. Instead, let your values, relationships, and sense of purpose guide your choices. The real measure of wealth is how you spend your time, who you share it with, and the sense of purpose you feel each day. Focus on building a life that feels abundant in love, meaning, and joy, and you'll discover that you already have everything you truly need. As you move forward, keep asking yourself, am I living in alignment with what matters most? That's the true path to lasting fulfillment. Remember, the richest life is not the one with the most money, but the one filled with gratitude, connection, and purpose. Let your days be measured not by your bank balance, but by the moments that make your heart full. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about making smarter, more intentional choices with your money, your time, and your energy. When you clear away the excess, you create space for what truly matters: your goals, your relationships, and your peace of mind. This mindset shift is the foundation of lasting wealth, because it helps you focus on what brings real value to your life, not just what's marketed to you. But how do you actually put this into practice? Let's outline a clear, actionable path to smarter wealth. One that combines daily habits, mindset shifts, and long-term strategies for financial freedom. Step 1. Declutter your life and your finances. Go through your bank statements line by line and identify recurring expenses that don't add value to your life, like unused subscriptions, memberships you forgot about, or impulse purchases that didn't bring lasting satisfaction. Cancel or reduce them immediately. Try a no-spend week where you only buy essentials, or unsubscribe from marketing emails and delete shopping apps that tempt you to shop. If you find it hard to resist online shopping, set up website blockers or move your favorite shopping apps off your home screen. These small steps free up money and mental space, making it easier to focus on your bigger goals. Step 2. Clear physical clutter and turn it into financial momentum. Sell or donate items you no longer use. Not only does this clear your space, but you can use the extra cash to jumpstart your savings or pay down debt. List unused electronics, clothes, or furniture on local marketplaces, and set a goal to declutter one area of your home each week. As you let go of excess, you'll notice a lighter, more focused mindset that carries over into your financial decisions. Step 3. Create a simple, values-based budget. Start by listing your true needs, like housing, food, transportation, and savings, and set clear, realistic limits for wants, such as dining out or entertainment. Use tools like the envelope system, where you allocate cash for each category, or budgeting apps that track your spending automatically. Automate your savings and bill payments to avoid late fees and build consistency. Even small, regular transfers add up over time. For example, set up an automatic transfer of $20 a week into a high-yield savings account, or schedule your bills to be paid right after payday. Every dollar you save by cutting excess can be redirected toward your goals, whether that's building an emergency fund, paying off debt, or investing for the future. If you struggle to stick to your budget, try using visual reminders, like a chart on your fridge or a progress bar in your budgeting app, to keep your goals top of mind. Step 4. Review and adjust your budget regularly. Life changes, and so do your needs and priorities. Set a monthly money date with yourself or your partner to go over your spending, celebrate progress, and make any necessary tweaks. This habit keeps you accountable and ensures your financial plan stays relevant. Step 5. Set clear, inspiring long-term goals and track your progress. The 13 rules we've explored are not just abstract ideas, they're practical, actionable steps you can start implementing today. Whether it's tracking your spending, setting clear financial goals, or simplifying your possessions, each rule is designed to help you build a solid foundation for your financial future. For example, set up a vision board with your top priorities, like becoming debt-free, saving for a home, or traveling, and place it somewhere you'll see every day. Create a savings jar or separate account for each goal and celebrate every small win, like paying off a credit card, reaching a savings milestone, or sticking to your budget for a month. Share your progress with supportive friends or family, or join online communities focused on minimalism and financial independence for extra motivation. Step 6. Shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Minimalism isn't about having less for the sake of it. It's about needing less so you can have more of what matters. Practice gratitude for what you already have, and focus on experiences and relationships over possessions. Remind yourself that true wealth is measured by freedom, security, and peace of mind, not just by the number in your bank account. Step 7. Invest in your future. Once you've built a solid foundation, start learning about investing. Even if it's just the basics, open a retirement account, contribute regularly, and explore low-cost index funds or other simple investment vehicles. Consider meeting with a financial advisor to map out a long-term plan and set calendar reminders to review your investments at least once a year. Remember, the earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Whether you're just starting out, recovering from setbacks, or looking to optimize your wealth, these minimalist principles can guide you toward a life of greater abundance, clarity, and peace. Remember, the path to smarter wealth isn't about having more, but about needing less and making every choice count. Start today by taking one small step, declutter a drawer, review your subscriptions, or set a savings goal, and watch your financial freedom grow, one intentional choice at a time. Over time, these habits compound, leading to less stress, more opportunities, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. The journey to smarter wealth is ongoing, but every step you take brings you closer to the life you truly want.